As Donald Trump tries to slow down Vice President Harris's momentum, he is trying something that might seem a little far-fetched. The former president told supporters this weekend that he will, quote, be great for women and their reproductive rights, while his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, told NBC News that Donald Trump would veto a national abortion ban if Congress were to pass one. Right. The same guy who said all of this.
I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted.
You have tremendous negotiating power. Now, with Roe v. Wade, you had none. You had no power. We've now given pro-life people tremendous power.
Do you have any regrets about the overturning of Roe v. Wade?
No regrets. No, I wouldn't have regrets. Again, I did something that most people felt undoable.
For more, I want to bring in Maria Urbina, former senior advisor to Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid and the national political director of the Indivisible Project. Also with us, former Republican Congressman David Jolly of Florida. Maria, what was your reaction when you heard these comments?
I had a very bravo reaction. You know, like, Donald Trump can hide from his record, but there are receipts. There are timelines, there are screenshots, right? Like, he just can't wiggle out of this. And you heard it here. He doesn't regret it. Part of what we're doing at Indivisible is making sure that more people know that Donald Trump is to blame for the gutting of Roe. We're doing that in Arizona, we did it in Ohio, and we have to do it in all these states because they just can't hide behind a states-only policy and pretend that parties in all of these states aren't trying to undercut women and their rights.
Congressman, can I ask you what your reaction was? Because it's one thing for Donald Trump to the line about, you know, it's with the states now. Some of his advisors were split on that, but it's one thing to say that. It's a whole nother thing to make these very forceful assertions about protecting women's reproductive care and siding with women's reproductive care when I literally just played a couple clips, and those are just all within the last couple of months.
Simone, I think Elizabeth Warren nailed it when she said women aren't stupid, and Donald Trump thinks they are. His most authentic moments are dishonesty and betrayal. And in this case, you see him betraying both his base, but also trying to lie to the voters that he betrayed in the first place on the issue of reproductive freedom. And he clearly is reading the polls, or he at least knows that this issue is getting him in trouble. I believe in 7 out of 7 times when this issue has been ballot tested, the advocates for reproductive freedom, largely aligned with today's Democratic politics, have won. And his position is a drag on his race. But as Maria said, the problem for Donald Trump is America has the receipts. And I think the real question is, what in this race actually matters? Because even the pro-life groups that he has aligned himself with, who are offended by this and rightly called him out on this flip-flop, they're not going to move to Harris. Are they going to not show up? I don't know that that's the case. I still think this race will be framed by the surge and momentum and powerful candidacy of Vice President Harris against a listless Donald Trump who has no way to expand his base. He will not expand his base on this issue whatsoever.
You know, Maria, David makes a very important point. This position is upsetting advocates for reproductive freedom. It is upsetting advocates who are what they would call pro-life, anti-abortion advocates. It's literally upsetting everyone. But I don't think that the voters that are as upset, particularly folks who are traditionally aligned with the Republican Party apparatus's position on this, are going to make an about face and vote for Vice President Harris. But what about moderate Republican women? Do you think that this will speak to moderate Republican women and all those ballot initiatives? I mean, I think of Kansas. I'm from Nebraska. There are not enough Democrats in Kansas to pass a ballot initiative, but it passed, and that means Republican voters did have to vote for that the last time it was on the ballot.
2 things. Donald Trump created this, hands down. He's got no one to blame but himself. But if you look at 2023, the elections of 2023, and you look at the 2022 midterms, voters are telling us what they think. Across party lines and across geographies, battlegrounds, non-battlegrounds, voters have decisively told us since the falling of Roe that they are not in agreement with this breach in our rights. And so what I'm most curious about is not will voters accept any version of this sort of copping out that Donald Trump is doing? What I'm eager to look at is how much is Trump going to hurt down ballot? How much is he going to hurt in the Arizona 1 race, in the Arizona 6 race, where a lot of these voters, like you mentioned, do really care about this and are going to continue to be offended by this attack. And you can't run away. You can't say, like, leave it up to the states, because guess what? In Arizona, their version of that was an 1864 abortion ban. That, guess what? Their Republican legislature tried time and time again to maintain, to not let voters have their will and be able to vote and enshrine this right in their Constitution. And so there's just, like, he created this chaos. They're scared of the polls. They're scared of what they're seeing, and it's obvious.
David Jolly, in the 30 seconds I have left, do you think more women are going to specifically go to the polls in November, given the issues that are on the ballot and key battlegrounds all across the country?
Absolutely. Women are going to decide this election, and I think they're going to decide it in favor of Vice President Harris. It is those, call them moderate suburban voters, however you want to profile them, but the voters who have said, we don't want Donald Trump leading the country and we don't want him speaking for our health care or for our family. Donald Trump would sign a national abortion ban. Women aren't stupid. They know that. They're going to vote for Vice President Harris.